What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So a lot of the questions that I get down in the comment section are, is there going to be more relief for the American people? Will we get some help and some assistance very soon? Well, the answer is yes. There will be more help, but it may not be for you, because what I can tell you right now is the middle class will get screwed. And I want to explain why, because this is only going to get worse. Because here's what we know. Households that earn between $45,000 and about $180,000 per year are considered the middle class in 2022. That's a huge problem, and I want to explain why. In 2022, the average new car costs just under $48,000. The average house costs about $450,000. This means that the majority of your yearly income, if you're considered middle class, would be used to go and buy one of these two things. And for many people, buying a home is almost considered out of the question due to the fact that interest rates keep on rising. Now, let's touch on this for a second, because we know that 75% of middle class households say their income is falling behind the cost of living. That is insane, because if we are seeing so many people are struggling just to survive and they're considered the middle class, what does that mean to lower income earners? Well, here's what we also know. We know that credit card spending has only increased as inflation takes hold on the US economy. At 9.1%, many people cannot afford to use their only income and go and buy groceries, pay rent, pay their car payments, and on top of that, pay their credit card bills. So what's happening? The American people are putting their purchases on a credit card and not paying them off at the end of the month. The problem with that is they rack up a massive amount of credit card debt. Can't do anything about it. Here's the other thing. The value of the federal minimum wage has declined to its lowest value since 1956. Yeah, over 50 years ago. Since 1956, this is the lowest value we have seen the minimum wage be. That's scary. And guess what? It's only getting worse. Now, we could argue that Congress is attempting to do something for the American people and help out the middle class. Right? We know the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022. This is being pushed by Democrats as a way to lower the costs for the low and middle class. But Republicans and many economists are arguing that the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022 actually puts upward pressure on inflation and will actually cause more harm than good. We also know that roughly 230 economists say, and they said this just the other day, that passing this bill would be more trouble for the economy. This would actually provide tax credits to middle class Americans, causing them to feel like they have more money than they do, which means they would essentially just go and spend that money because they are richer than they truly are. That's scary. But here's why financial experts anticipate times will only get worse for the middle class. It's called a recession. Now, this is not your typical recession. I want to explain why, because we actually have a new definition of a recession. And that is, and it's actually according to the National Bureau of Economic Research, they say that a recession is defined as, I quote, a significant decline in economic activity that is spread across the economy and that lasts for more than a few months. Okay, so we could technically be in a recession for a few months. And according to their new definition, until it gets larger than a few months, it's not really a recession. So we could be in a recession for a full quarter. And according to the National Bureau of Economic Research, well, it's not really a recession according to the new research. Well, when the economy does dip into a recession, whether we call it that or not, here's what we see. We see lower employment numbers. We see a decline in consumer spending. Well, typically, lately, the American people just keep on spending money. It's just a lot on credit cards, which is terrifying. We also see a massive drop in businesses reinvesting back into their company. And these things hurt one group more than any other, and that's the middle class. Now, the middle class for many people is they're typically well off, 2-income household, right? Doing fairly well. Well, what does that mean? In most cases, the middle class makes too much money to be eligible for things like food stamps, which means they have to buy all their food on their own. Now, typically, most will make too much money to be able to qualify for free insurance as well, free health insurance. Now, while the lower class is getting all these additional benefits from the federal government, the middle and upper class are the ones that are pretty much footing the bill to pay for all these, and they're getting charged more in taxes. And I know, and I hear this all the time, but President Biden says nobody making less than $400,000 per year will pay a penny more in taxes. Well, can we really believe that when everything has gotten so expensive and our bank account balances just keep dropping? Well, let me know your answer down in the comment section below. But now, will President Biden and Democrats be able to do something meaningful in order to bring down inflation and help the middle class? Possibly. But here's what I want to say. I want to be very clear. President Biden and Democrats, they may be able to bring down inflation. They may be able to help the middle class. But they will be able to help the lowest income earners first. Then it will trickle up to the middle class. But as far as bringing inflation down to the 2% level that the Federal Reserve wants, honestly, it's not going to happen with the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022. This will help bring down costs, but really, is it going to bring down inflation? Probably not. So, what should you do if you are considered middle class? Well, there's a few things. Take advantage of tax credits if you can get them. And I'm not going to go and address every single tax credit that's available. I'll talk about more of those later on, but go and get these tax credits if you can. And I'm not saying go and spend money to get them, but go and get the tax credits if you can get them. Second thing, invest. Go and talk to somebody if you need to. Learn what you can do to invest, whether it's in a 401k, whether it's in a Roth IRA, whether it's just in the stock market, whatever. Consider investing. And again, I don't want to try to give you financial advice here, but I do want you to go and consider your options if you are considered middle class, because chances are you have a little bit of money saved up that you could potentially use. And the third thing that I highly recommend every single person, whether you're a lower income, middle class, or you are in the top 1%, obviously, go and find a way to make more money. It's a very simple thing to do. There's millions of things out there that you can make money on. Go and find one and make a business out of it. So that's what we know at this time. As always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and share all latest news and updates. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.